Hello there, grade 4 learners! Are you ready for another fun and exciting learning adventure? This is Ma'am Julie Ann P. Rita, reminding you that the beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Welcome to Valenzuela Live. For your attendance, kindly type your name and your school in the comment box, just like what you see on the screen. Use the comment box to send in your answers to the activities. Feel free to share your thoughts and questions about the lesson, but remember to be polite and avoid unnecessary comments. Get your learning materials ready, sit properly, listen carefully, and let's start our English class. For this lesson, we will be working on some activities for you to be able to analyze a story in terms of its elements. We will be using Module 7 prepared by Ma'am Maria Elena L. Mendiola of A. Deato Elementary School. In this episode, you will learn to identify the important elements such as setting, character, and plot. Analyze a story in terms of its setting. And show love for reading by listening attentively during story reading and making comments or reactions. To begin, let's have a word search activity. Help me find in the bookshelf the English module that we are going to use by answering this puzzle. Take a screenshot of this word search puzzle, edit the puzzle, and after 2 minutes, send your activity in our comment box. Look for the following words in the word search puzzle: characters, place, time, and events. Let us check your work. Can you see the word characters in the puzzle? Great! How about the word place? Awesome! Where do you think is the word events here in the puzzle? Amazing! How about the word time? Wonderful! Now we have found the module. Are the words characters, place, time, and events familiar to you? You are right. These are details of a story. Let's have a review. Identify the given detail of a story. Is it character, place, time, or event? Number 1, one day. This detail talks about, that is right, time. Number 2, bank of the river. This detail talks about, correct, the place where the story happened. Number 3, monkey. This detail talks about, wonderful, a character in the story. Number 4, turtle. This detail talks about, great, this is a character. Number 5, the monkey ate all the bananas. This detail talks about, fantastic, this tells an event of the story. It's time to read a story. Before reading, let us study these words that you will encounter in the story. The first word is bench. She sat on a bench beside the tree. Which picture shows a bench? That is correct. The second picture. A bench is a long seat for 2 or more people. It is a noun. The second word is post. The light on the post is bright. Which picture shows a post? That is right, the third picture. Post is a pole or stake placed upright in the ground to mark or support something. Like a lamp post, it is a post that supports a lamp, especially a street lamp. It is a noun. The third word is monument. The monument of Dr. Jose Rizal is made out of marble. Which picture shows a monument? Precisely, the second picture. A monument is something built in memory of a person, event, or special deed. It is a noun. The fourth word is bush. The bush grows well in sandy soil. Which picture shows a bush? That's it, the third picture. A bush is a low plant with many woody branches. It is a noun. The fifth and last word to study is plaza. The big plaza in front of the museum is the site of the concert. Which picture shows a plaza? Nice going! It is the first picture. A plaza is a public square or open space in the center of a town. It is a noun. Do you play games with your friends? No doubt. Just like the children in the story we are about to read. Let's find out what game is it. Are you ready? The moon and the stars were shining brightly. The light on the post was bright too. The children could see almost as well as in the daytime. They were playing hide and seek, and Lino was the it. Lino faced the post, closed his eyes, and counted to 10. While he was counting, other children ran away to hide. Rita hid under a bench in the plaza. Ben hid behind a monument. Juan climbed the big acacia tree. Lucia hid behind a bush. When Lino finished counting, he looked for his playmates. He saw Lucia first. They ran to the post. Lino got to the post first. Then, Lino found Rita under the bench. Next, he found Ben behind the monument. Lino did not see Juan go down the acacia tree. Juan went to the post before Lino could. So everyone shouted, "Saved! Saved!" How the children laughed! How they enjoyed the game! Lino was hit several times, but he wasn't angry. He too enjoyed the game. The end. You may read this story from Developing Reading Power 4, pages 100 to 101. So, what was the game enjoyed playing by the children in the story? Great! They enjoyed playing hide and seek. Now, let's answer a few questions about the story. Number 1. What time of the day was it? A. Noontime. B. Morning. C. Evening. Fantastic! The answer is letter C. Evening. How did you know that it was evening? You are correct. We know that it was evening even though it was not directly stated in the story because of how the writer of the story describes well the surroundings, like in this description from the story. The moon and the stars were shining brightly. The light on the post was bright too. The children could see almost as well as in the daytime. That is how we know that the time of the day was evening. Number 2. Where did the children play? A. In the backyard. B. At the plaza. Or C. In the mall. Awesome! The answer is letter B. At the plaza. How did you find out that it was at the plaza? Exactly! It was mentioned in the story. And aside from that, the writer of the story describes well the environment or the surroundings in the story, like in this description from the story. Rita hid under a bench in the plaza. Ben hid behind a monument. Juan climbed the big acacia tree. Lucia hid behind a bush. Number 3. Who hid behind the bush? A. Lucia. B. Juan. C. Rita. Nice! The answer is letter A, Lucia. Number 4. Who was the it several times in the game? A. Juan. B. Lino. C. Ben. Great! The answer is letter B, Lino. Number 5. What can you say about Lino? Letter A, he was a good sport. Letter B, he was honest. Or letter C, he was neat. Exactly right. The answer is A. He was a good sport. What is a good sport? A good sport means a person who is not rude or angry about losing. Someone who shows polite behavior even when things go wrong. A good sport copes with a difficult situation or teasing in a cheerful way, just like Lino in our story. Are you a good sport? Moving on, the answers to the comprehension questions tell about the elements of the story. These are the characters, setting, and plot. Characters are the people, animals, things, beings, or creatures participating in a story. There are main characters and supporting characters. The main characters determine the way the events develop and usually solve the problem in the story. The supporting characters, who have minor roles in the entirety of the story, supply additional details, explanations, or actions. Setting is the when and where of a story. It is the time and place during which the story takes place. It can be location, time of day, the season, the weather, the type of room or building. Sometimes, the setting is not directly stated. You will have to identify the setting based on the writer's description of the environment or surroundings. Plot is the series of events of a story. It shows the arrangement of events and actions. The plot describes the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. It includes the conflict and the resolution. Conflict is the problem, the issue, or the struggle between two forces in a story. Without conflict, there is no plot. Resolution is the conclusion of the story. How the problem was solved or how did the story end? Either the character defeats the problem, learns to live with the problem, or the problem defeats the character. Let's try this. Going back to our story earlier, let us complete this story map. Give the main character or characters, the supporting character or characters, the setting and the plot of the story. The main character in the story is wonderful. The main character in the story is Lino. The supporting characters are great. The supporting characters are Lino's friends, namely Rita, Ben, Juan, and Lucia. The setting of the story is, that is right, the setting of the story is evening at the plaza. Let's have now the plot of the story. Can you give the series of events that happened in the story? Good job! One evening at the plaza, Lino and his friends played hide and seek. Lino found all his friends except for Juan, whom he did not see hid up the acacia tree. Juan went to the post before Lino could. Lino was hit several times, but a good sport, he wasn't angry and enjoyed the game with his friends. Great effort, grade 4. Let's have the next activity. Let us read the story, The New Bicycle by Ma'am Maria Elena L. Menjola. Try to analyze the story in terms of its element. The New Bicycle by Ma'am Maria Elena L. Menjola. Lito bought a new bicycle. He saved his allowance for several months to buy the bike. While riding on his bicycle along their subdivision, something happened. The back wheel broke suddenly when it strode on broken glass. He called his father to help him fix the flat tire of his bicycle. They worked together to fix it. Lito felt disappointed, but he learned his lesson to be always cautious anywhere he goes. Who are the characters in the story? Correct. The characters are Lito, the main character, and his father, the supporting character. Now, describe the setting of the story. Where is the setting of the story? Along the subdivision. Let us recall the plot. What are the events happened in the story? What is the conflict? Awesome! The back wheel of Lito's bikes broke suddenly when it strode on broken glass. What is the resolution? Great! Lito and his father worked together to fix the bike. Lito learned his lesson. Try to complete the story map about the story, The New Bicycle. Copy the story map in your notebook and write there your answers. You have 1 minute to do this. All right, let us check your work. Who is the main character? Perfect. The main character in the story is Lito. Who is the supporting character? That is right. Father is the supporting character in the story. Where is the setting of the story? Correct. Along the subdivision. Now, let us fill out the plot. What are the events happened in the story? Lito bought a new bicycle from his savings. While riding on his bicycle along their subdivision, the back wheel broke suddenly when it strode on broken glass. Lito and his father worked together to fix the bike. Lito learned his lesson. Let us sum up everything that you have learned in our lesson. Complete the sentences with the concepts you have learned from our discussion. Number 1. The elements of the stories are blank, blank, and blank. The elements of the stories are characters, setting, and plot. Number 2. Blank refer to the people, animals, or creatures in the story. Characters refer to the people, animals, or creatures in the story. Number 3. Blank refers to the most important character in the story. The main character refers to the most important character in the story. Number 4. Blank refers to the time and place of the story. Setting refers to the time and place of the story. Number 5. Blank refers to the series of events of a story which includes the conflict and resolution. That's right. Plot refers to the series of events of a story which includes the conflict and resolution. Let us read the story. Fill in the story map with the correct details. The drawing by Ma'am Maria Elena L. Menjola. Rona was on their terrace while drawing a picture of her dream house on a sketch pad. The picture had a beautiful garden with lots of flowering plants and fruit-bearing trees. She made her picture colorful using her colored pentel pens. Rona's brother, who was holding a glass of juice, came to see the picture. Suddenly, he slipped on the floor and accidentally spilled the juice on her drawing. Rona started to cry. Her brother asked for forgiveness. Rona realized that it was an accident. She forgave her brother and decided to draw her dream house again some other time. Copy the story map in your notebook and write there your answers. You have 1 minute to do this. Let us now check your work. Let us complete the story map about the drawing. The main character is Rona. The supporting character is Rona's brother. The setting of the story is the terrace of the house. Let's go now to the plot. Rona was on their terrace drawing a picture of her dream house on a sketch pad. Her brother accidentally spilled the juice on her drawing. He asked for forgiveness. Rona forgave her brother and decided to draw her dream house again some other time. You are all amazing, grade 4. Do you have any questions? Now is the time to post your questions in the comment box. Time for me to read and answer some of your questions. Here is the first question. Ma'am, why is it important to learn the elements of a story? Learning the elements of a story helps in your comprehension. Knowing the elements of a story will help you answer the questions about the story, or retell it, or summarize it, or even guess what will happen next. For question number 2, what are the functions of a setting? The purpose of a setting in a story is to create a mood or atmosphere, to show a reader a different way of life, to make the action seem more real, and at times be the source of conflict or struggle, and to symbolize an idea. For the final question, teacher, how is the setting created? The setting is the location of the action. An author should describe an environment or surroundings of the story in such detail that the reader feels that he or she can picture the scene. Unusual settings such as fantasy world can be interesting, but everyday settings can help a reader to better visualize the story and feel connected to the plot. This will be the end of the question and answer part of the lesson. I hope this episode of Valenzuela Live will help and guide you to answer the activities in your module. I have faith that you learned something from our discussion today. As George Santayana said, even the wisest mind has something yet to learn. Together with my technical moderator, Ma'am Kathleen A. Ocampo of Karuhatan East Elementary School, we would like to thank all of you for watching and participating in our English 4 class here in Valenzuela Live, the Valenzuela City Streaming School. See you all next time.